Well, this is interesting. The Witcher creator, Andrzej Sapkowski, has come out and basically said Netflix never listened to his feedback on the live action series, which is really interesting because Netflix were incredibly open to listening to One Piece creators' feedback for the One Piece live action adaptation. So there does seem to be like some, well, they're just different factors, that they're different treatment per creator. But it also might be because of the production house that's working on it. Because, of course, you know, they're made for Netflix, but they have different producers, different production houses on board. And Netflix distributes them and pays for it, etc. So it's interesting because it goes to show when one listens, the result's so good. When one doesn't, the result's so bad. And you'd think by now Netflix would bloody learn. You'd think that they'd learn, wouldn't you? At the very least, for goodness sake. And again, this has resulted in Henry Cavill leaving. Which, you know, good on him. I'm glad that he's buggered off. I'm glad that he's left. I'm glad that he's onwards to bigger and better things now. But still, it is a shame. So let's take a look, shall we, ladies and gents? Hit subscribe if you're new here. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Thanksgiving to my American viewers. So, this is an article over on Bounding Into Comics. And they say, you know, it says, it's a tale as old as time when it comes to the streaming giant, which is true. Netflix have a massive history of doing this. But they have started to change. So, you know, I don't know what factors are coming into play as to why they're changing. I personally think it's to do with production houses. According to The Witcher original creator, Andrzej Sapkowski, Netflix was completely uninterested in hearing his opinions regarding their handling of his seminal work's live-action adaptation. Well, it turned out to be shit then, didn't it? So the author provided this insight into his experience with Netflix's The Witcher production team while speaking to Austrian video game news outlet Serial Killers during the recently held 2023 entry of the annual Vienna Comic Con. So, following discussions on his writing history, creative process, and what lies in store for Geralt in the future, the outlet eventually raised the topic of the live-action series. Asking Sapkowski, when you visited Netflix on the set for the Witcher series, did you give them any feedback? Great question. To this question, the author first responded by beaming over how, well, the set was tremendous, you know, tremendous, everything, before returning to the outlet's main question and admitting that while he had thoughts on the series' direction, they were ultimately discarded by its production team. Because why would they listen? You know, he says, and I quote, maybe I gave them some ideas, but they never listened to me. It's normal. Who's this? He's a writer. He's nobody. Well, he's not just nobody. I mean, he's the creator, for goodness sake. Come on. So, notably, this is not the first time the storied author has offered such lukewarm reception to Netflix's ongoing mess of a television adaptation, which is true. He's come out and said a few things, to be fair. So, asked by a fan for his thoughts on the live-action The Witcher series during a recent appearance at the 2023 Taipei International Book Exhibition, Sapkowski unenthusiastically affirmed, I've seen better and I've seen worse, which is an incredibly diplomatic way of saying this is absolute shite. But I just can't say it because they're paying me. So further, Sapkowski is far from the only creator to have publicly claimed that Netflix ignored their input. Interestingly, there's more than just these people that they list here, because a lot of people really like the look of the Avatar, The Last Airbender trailer. But the creators recently came out and said that Netflix wasn't listening to them. They had to leave the project because they were on completely different creative paths. It wasn't what they wanted to do. They weren't acquiescing to their requests. So I don't know how good that's going to be now. But anyway, speaking to his involvement in Netflix's ill-fated TV disaster during a 2019 interview with Japanese entertainment news outlet OtaQuest, Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Watanabe detailed, I read the initial concept and provided my opinions, but I'm not sure if they will be reflected in the final product. And obviously we know that that was fucking terrible. So Netflix disregard of Watanabe's feedback would later be confirmed by series lead John Cho, who during an interview with IGN admitted, "We did not communicate with Watanabe." And you wonder why it fell apart. So here we go. They actually list it here, which is the Avatar: The Last Airbender, co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzos. They basically said, in a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said it was committed. This is the massive hypocrisy of Netflix. Netflix said it was committed to honouring our vision for this retelling and to supporting us on creating the series. And we expressed how excited we were for the opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we hoped, and that's why they left. So, when Netflix brought me on board to run this series alongside Mike 2 years ago, they made a very public promise to support our vision. Unfortunately, there was no follow-through on that promise, though I got to work with some great individuals, both on Netflix's side and on our own small development team. The general handling of the project created what I felt was a negative and unsupportive environment. To be clear, this was not a simple matter of us not getting our way. Mike and I are collaborative people. We did not need all the ideas to come from us, as long as we felt those ideas were in line with the spirit and integrity, that's some brutal words being used here, of Avatar. We would have happily embraced them. However, we ultimately came to the belief that we would not be able to meaningfully guide the direction of the series. And this is what they released. So, but bizarre that One Piece, they were like, yeah, we'll listen to everything you say. It's got to be production team. It has to be on a production team level. Production houses might be different, and that's why they're listening to them. But it's not a surprise, is it? I mean, look, when you don't listen to the creator and you go off and do your own thing, and you're injecting your own nonsense politics into it and social agendas, etc., it falls apart, falls flat on its arse. This is garbage. And this, again, you can imagine. Can you imagine being Henry Cavill, a fan of the books, the games, right? Because he is. He's a fan of the character. He said, I'll play it indefinitely. Being on set, seeing the man who created this thing that you're such a fan of, and knowing full well that the showrunners were disrespecting him and not listening to his feedback. You would be pissed. As he probably rightfully was. Pissed. I'm sure. But that's the very real scenario that took place. Shocking. Let me know what you think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.